This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connected to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
Welcome to the Barbados Today afternoon update for Friday, October 9th. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. We begin with concerns about the sincerity of Brazilian beverage company Ambev in its bid to take over Banks Holding Limited. It comes from opposition member of Parliament for St. James Central, Kerry Simmons. Simmons tells Barbados Today that he believes the company is trying to create a dominance in the hemisphere and does not necessarily have the country's best interest at heart.
I question the sincerity of these people's interest in banks. Right now, that company, Invest, I think that's what it's called, they now own 50% of the United States beer market. They are trying to purchase Miller and Coors, which would give them 70% of the United States market. And at that point, they pretty much have controlled the hemisphere because they already own the vast majority of what's happening in the Caribbean and Latin America. So I think it's a bit of a stretch to ask us to believe that they're trying to buy this thing over in order to make its beer better. I think what they're trying to do is create domination across this hemisphere.
Simmons' comment comes on the heels of similar concerns by a group of BHL shareholders. Earlier this week, Ambev's Vice President for Central America and the Caribbean, Eduardo Lacerda, said his company plans to have BHL reach its full potential while earning Barbados more foreign exchange through increased production and exports. But in a statement issued yesterday, the shareholders said their research on the world's fifth largest brewery had raised a number of concerns, including possible drastic job cuts, losses to minority shareholders, closure of the brewery, and damage to the local brand. The statement urged remaining shareholders to consider all the facts and options before making a decision on the sale of their shares. Opposing views on the Caribbean's push for reparations, political scientist Peter Wickham says the move is a lost cause, but former parliamentarian Hamilton Lashley says the region should not give up on its bid. Their comments come after British Prime Minister David Cameron ruled out paying reparations for his country's role in the historic slave trade. He told the Jamaica Parliament recently that while these wounds run very deep, it was time to move on from its painful legacy and continue to build for the future. Wickham says while the comments may seem harsh, he agrees with the British leader. He says the Caribbean would be better off if it focuses its energies elsewhere.
I do feel that we need to start focusing on how do we develop our economies that we have been in control of now for half a century. How do we develop these economies in a way that would allow us to move forward? If we take a battle against the APD, I think that is a battle worth fighting. If we take a battle between other kinds of impositions, that's a battle worth fighting. But the idea of suggesting that we need to go back 300 years and get reparations for slavery, it's not something that's going to happen.
But Lashley disagrees. He describes Cameron's comments as insulting and is demanding an apology. Pro-Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Eudine Barito, warns authorities to keep a close eye on international education institutions moving into Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean. She says while local educational facilities are being increasingly required to satisfy high standards, their foreign competitors have it too easy.
There is great national and regional competition in the provision of higher education. There is a heightened emphasis on quality assurance and commitment to benchmark standards at UWI, while the Barbados Accreditation Council is ensuring local institutions become accredited. It must ensure vigilance with unknown providers. There can be a general free-for-all among mostly unregulated foreign providers. Recently in a Caribbean country, there was a foreign education provider that left persons stranded in that country without money, without the course of study that they had paid for.
The Immigration Department has been processing between 50 and 70 applications of the special entry and resident permits per year since its introduction in 2013. However, Senator Darcy Boyce, a minister in the Prime Minister's office, wants to see that number doubled. Addressing Day 2 of the International Business Week conference at the Hilton Resort this morning, Boyce said by doubling the number of SIRPs processed, the government stood to earn significantly more foreign exchange.
They've been doing about somewhere between 50 and 75 a year, but that have been completed. We reckon that we should, I reckon they should push for about 100 a year, 150 a year would be very nice. So it'd be $300 million US in foreign exchange inflows. That's really my focus. Where they come from, I don't know. I don't bother to get into that. And actually, many of these things don't come to me for approval. I let them get approved and delegate all of that stuff down to the department itself. Only if they're tempted to refuse applications. I ask them to send them to me before we do that. Because, you know, once it comes to a minister, he can be in a country, he can be cabinet, he can be, so I try not to have him come to me. But we don't, I think we do about 50 a year. We want to get it maybe to 100 in a couple of years' time or so, then we see how we go from there.
In sports, FIFA President Sepp Blatter is appealing against his 90-day ban from football's world governing body. The 79-year-old Swiss had been suspended from all duties while FIFA's Ethics Committee investigates corruption claims against him. He was suspended on Thursday along with Secretary General Jerome Black and Vice President Michel Platini. Blatter will contest the ban in the appropriate manner and at the appropriate time. All three deny any wrongdoing.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
To the region now, a stern rebuke for British Prime Minister David Cameron. Former Jamaican Prime Minister P.J. Patterson is taking issue with Britain's failure to apologize for the horrors of slavery and its refusal to engage the region on the issue of reparations. In a strong letter to Cameron, Patterson questioned Britain's refusal to apologize while it had done so to other groups for horrid crimes. He asked whether the Caribbean was not deserving of an apology. Patterson made it clear that the mere acknowledgement of the horror of slavery would not suffice, insisting it's still the most heinous crime against humanity, which cannot be removed by the mere passage of time. Patterson added that until there is full confession from those who committed the atrocity, the Caribbean would not emerge from the shadow of slavery, and he stressed that reparatory justice for the region is the start of shaping a new future. On the international scene, authorities in the U.S. are investigating another deadly campus shooting just 1 week after a gunman went on a rampage at the Oregon Community College. Police say 18-year-old freshman at Northern Arizona University, Stephen Jones, pulled a gun and shot 4 male students, killing 1. University Police Chief Gregory Fowler said Jones was now cooperating with investigations.
As I said, right now we have 1 student deceased and 3 others being treated at the Flagstaff Medical Center. Stephen was taken into custody by NAUPD officers. He stopped his action with his handgun, and everything calmed down for a few minutes. As our officer arrived, he was able to take him into custody.
And finally, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Tanzania's National Dialogue Quartet for helping the country's transition to democracy. The The Nobel Committee said the group of civil society organizations had made a decisive contribution to democracy after the 2011 revolution.
The quartet was formed in summer of 2013 when the democratization process was in danger of collapsing as a result of political assassinations and widespread social unrest. It established an alternative, peaceful political process at a time when the country was on the brink of civil war. It was thus instrumental in enabling Tunisia, in the space of a few years, to establish a constitutional system of government guaranteeing fundamental rights for the entire population, irrespective of gender, political conviction, or religious belief.
And that's news and sports, but be sure to join us for another update this evening. Until then, log on to www.barbadostoday.tv, subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Do have a wonderful day.